What's up, you guys? Welcome back into iHeartRadio's official wrestling podcast, the Battleground Podcast. It is Battle. And on the show today, we're joined by a former NXT North American champion. The man has had many nicknames over the past several years in his career. Most recently, thanks to Paul Heyman, the Tribal Thief. Give it up for Bronson Reed joining the show. Man, how are you doing?
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, he was out stealing everybody's shoes. Everybody look down at your feet real quick. That's why he froze the screen.
Yeah.
Bronson,
Sorry about that. We're back.
Hey, I got to say real quick, thanks for jumping on the show with us today. And I kind of want to jump into it. Paul Heyman, right? He's given you the nickname, the Tribal Thief. And we all know his fingerprints are some of the biggest careers ever. What's it like working with someone like Paul Heyman day to day?
Honestly, for me, I was a huge wrestling fan, and specifically ECW. So it's a bit of a dream come true for me. If I could have asked myself, 5 years ago, who would you want to be managing you as a pro wrestler? I would pick Paul Heyman. So he is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to this business. So I feel like, if anything, I sort of make sure to pick his brain as much as possible, because that just helps me with my career.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's just dripping out of his pores. I mean, you know what I mean? Like it breathes this business. It's unbelievable. Speaking of Paul Heyman, you've been aligned with the Vision now, which has been a central part of Raw the last few months. With that group, the balance with you kind of being the muscle and the enforcer. I mean, how are you finding the balance being in a group like that with also your own ambitions, your own singles goals, your own single title goals, and all that stuff?
Yeah, I think at first, it sort of almost looked like me and Bron were sort of like Seth's security. We sort of seemed like we were a little in the background for a little bit, but I always knew that the Vision as a group, the way that we were going to work is we were going to expand, and that's us all doing our own things individually, but also then still coming back to be on the same page. And I think the last couple of months on television, you've been able to see that. You've been able to see, obviously, the stuff I've done with Roman Reigns and the stuff that me and Bron are doing as a tag team as well. And then it always ends up coming back to all of us back together. But I think by doing that, you get to see the best of Bron, the best of me, the best of Seth, and it makes us even stronger.
Yeah, right, for sure. And you mentioned the group, you, Bron, Seth, throwing Becky into the mix now, Paul Heyman. Yeah. There was a lot of buzz when this first started. I know there were reports online that you joining the Vision kind of wasn't originally there in the creative plans, but it then came together last minute. Can you walk us through how all that went down? And obviously it was a good decision to throw you into the Vision.
Yeah, I mean, I was obviously out with a serious injury, and I knew I was going to come back and hopefully into something good, but I wasn't sure what. And I was just making sure I was prepared for whatever was going to happen. And then I only found out, I think it might have been like 2 days before that was the plans going ahead. And I was ecstatic because I was already sort of working backstage with Heyman before my injury. He was helping me with promos and just stuff with my character. But now I was like, oh, it's going to be on screen, and I'm going to be working with Seth again, who I had a great rivalry with the year before. Mm-hmm. So it sort of was a great fit. At first, some people were like, why would Seth and Bronson be teaming together? But that's sort of what you got to do. You keep your enemies closer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. We're just a few weeks past from Clash in Paris. You and Braun, left a major match with Roman and Jey Uso. What did that night prove to you as a top tier wrecking crew? Like, what did it mean to be in the ring with those two? Does it kind of like reiterate, like, yeah, I need to be, I deserve to be here, kind of a deal?
Yeah, I feel like, especially Roman, Roman for the last decade has been the face of the company by far. Like that, when you think of WWE, you think of Roman Reigns. So to be able to match your skills with someone like him, and not only be in there with him, but look like you deserve to be there, was a big stepping stone for me. The last few years, I've always thought that I should be in this sort of position when it comes to WWE, but you don't know until you get there if you deserve to be in that position. And I think people after Clash in Paris have sort of seen that now.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Plus the crowd was insane.
Yes, yeah. That always helps as well. You know,
Absolutely.
It always helps when you have a crazy rabid crowd, and obviously they're always going to be 100% behind Roman, and then they're definitely against me, so that makes it even better.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I do want to ask this because as a father, my kid loves to watch wrestling, and I also want to kind of point fingers at you because, like, all of a sudden he was telling people that he is going to tsunami them at one point in time. So I do want to talk about this briefly because one thing that me and him share is, of course, the love of professional wrestling. And when he saw the T-shirt, the Tribal Thief shirt come out, he wanted one. We, of course, ordered them, and then it went away. What happened with the shirt? I mean, everybody seemed to enjoy it.
Yes. Well, it is still there, it's still available, but it's altered. So
because it had the shoes on it. Yes,
you can still buy it, but there was some copyright infringement stuff there that they had to remove the shoes, which is fair enough. I get it, but I personally was hoping that they'll just put on some generic shoes. You know, that's the whole thing was I was walking around with people's shoes around my neck, but they just decided to keep it as the Tribal Thief logo. So if I have my way, I'll make sure that the shirt hopefully can come back out with the shoes on it.
Yeah, I seriously hope so because I ordered it, then I got the email saying that it was not getting ordered anymore, and I was like, oh, that's a bummer. Because also, again, my 8-year-old was walking around with shoes around his neck, and he was taking my shoes, and I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm the miniature Tribal Thief, and I'm like, okay, I got it.
Yeah,
I'm happy to be a bad influence. You know, I've had a lot in the last year or so where I get people telling me their kids are jumping off of their couches and landing on them and stuff, hitting a tsunami. And I was like, well, when I was a kid, I was doing the same thing, whether it was hitting people with stunners or doing that sort of stuff. It makes me happy to know that kids are jumping on their parents.
I kid you not. The other day we were just sitting there floating in the pool in the backyard, and I'm just minding my own business. And all of a sudden, tsunami! Bam! And I'm just like, what is going on? So now that you're here, I just want to say thank you for now having my kid just tsunami and just randomly jump off the couch. Bronson Reed affecting all the future WWE superstars for sure.
Yep.
Now, I want to go back for a second because I got to tell you, your story is great when it comes to WWE because you were there, you got released, and you came back. And you said that when you came back yourself, you came back with a chip on your shoulder, more confidence. What changed for you during that time? Was it the training? Was it, doing some indie stuff, taking time to reset? What really helped you grow into the version of Bronson Reed that we're seeing now?
Yeah, I think for me, I've always had hurdles to sort of jump over in my career. Like even to getting to WWE. Before I was released, I had a few tryouts, and I was always one of those guys that never got hot-shotted or told yes straight away. I've always had to prove myself. And I remember when I did get released from NXT, I was like, well, I'm just going to go out there and prove myself again and make sure that they know they made the wrong decision. And I made sure that I knew I was going to get to Japan. But I didn't know that I was going to have the matches I was going to have. And then how everything worked, and I got to work with obviously Okada, who at the time was unbeatable in Japan. You could say he was the Roman Reigns of New Japan at the time, for sure. And to beat him in the G1 and do what I did, I think it put a lot of eyes back on me. And when the time was right, I got the call from Triple H to come back, and I made sure that I had that chip on my shoulder, like I said, to go, hey, well, if I can do this here, I can definitely do it anywhere else. And I've always wanted that opportunity to be able to do that on a Monday Night Raw or SmackDown or the PLEs. And now you're getting to see it finally.
Yeah. Yeah. And, of course, keeping the tribes where they are, but, giving Okada his flowers, just an absolutely incredible tournament wrestler. And you guys had some incredible tango there in Japan. So it was incredible. Let's move to the present. WrestlePalooza is this Saturday in Indianapolis, airing for the first time on ESPN as well. You and Braun Breaker set to face the reunited Usos, which is got a lot of buzz. Obviously, Usos haven't teamed together in a while. What's the game plan to neutralize their chemistry, and what's your gauge of the What's your gauge of their current form heading into Indianapolis? Do you think they're still the old Usos? You think there's some ring rust? They have had some butting heads over the last couple of years. Like, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think, undoubtedly the Usos are one of the greatest tag teams of all time. Watching them, the stuff that they've done as a team is incredible. And now you've been able to see Jay, branch off and become champion and do all these things on himself, and Jimmy starting to do the same thing on SmackDown. And now they're back together. But I do feel like right now, me and Bronson the other Bronson, are definitely on a better wavelength together than what those two are. And I think you're going to see that in the match. You're going to see that, me and Bron have been on the road the last 3 months as Division and killing it all over the world, making towns. And now, as much as they have the brother chemistry, I don't know what they're going to do when they come up against us, because they've never wrestled anyone like us. They've wrestled some of the greatest tag teams ever, but we are two individual, crazy heavyweight singles wrestlers come together. Mm-hmm. So I feel like we're going to be a hard match for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, you got to watch out for the tsunami and the spear, because once
exactly.
Braun gets going, I mean, it's hard to stop a train. And once you get up there to that top rope, yeah, good luck there, guys, for sure. Of course, Bronson Reed is our guest right now on the show. Before we let you go, let's end on a fun one. Okay. If you could have anyone in the world perform a new entrance from you, band, rapper, whoever, who would you pick and why?
That's a hard one. I love my music. I listen to a lot of different stuff. But if I had to choose anyone, maybe I'll give you two bands.
Okay.
I can't just say one, but Rage Against the Machine. I love them. I think that entrance music wise, you could pick any of their tracks and it can be entrance music.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they're just so significant in the world of what they do. And then the other one would be one of my other favorite bands, which would be the Deftones. Mm-hmm. So I'd choose one of those two if I could in an ideal world.
Yeah.
All right. So Triple H, make it happen. WrestleMania. Next year we'll have Rage Against the Machine bring out Bronson, and then the following year we'll have the Deftones bring out Bronson.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Yeah, it sounds good to me. Let's do it.
Real quick, Bronson, before we let you go, is there anything you want to say to the people, the fans out there watching or listening to this right now?
Yeah, I just think that right now WWE is in such an incredible space where we're dominating stuff when it comes to Netflix, it comes to ESPN. We're more global than ever. Mm-hmm. But also you're going to see talent like myself and Bron who are really thriving to be the best that we can be. So I guarantee you this match with the Usos on Saturday is going to be something special. So make sure you tune in, because we're going to do some wild stuff and make sure to tear it up in Indianapolis.
Ooh, it's going to be fun for sure.
That sounds ominous. That sounds kind of scary. Yeah.
Also, real quick, before we do let you go, I have one extra question. How majestic is it seeing that spear in person up close?
So I tell people this all the time. Like, I'm the one that has to try and control Bron. He has a crazy Steiner temper, and I have to try and control him. And sometimes I'm like, it's very hard. I'm a 320-pound man, but it's still hard for me. Right. And literally on Monday night, we were wrestling LA Knight and Jimmy Uso. And at one point in the match, I looked to the outside of the ring, and he ran and he did this jumping tackle to LA Knight on the outside. And I forgot what I was doing because I was just watching it. He's an insane athlete. I don't know if I've seen anyone be as athletically gifted as Bron Breakker.
Yeah.
Oh, man, for sure. Well, Bronson Reed, it is an honor and a privilege to have you on the show, man. And we look forward to seeing some gold around your waist within the next year, whether it be tag team, US, Intercontinental, either
all
one of the
it.
championships,
all of
them. Give all the gold to Bronson Reed and give him some golden shoes to wear around his neck while we're at it.
There we go.
Yeah. Oh, hey, that's a good idea, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
I might have to
that's
steal
your
that.
trophy. There you go. Yeah.
Instead of having a tag title, you just have a gold shoes around your neck.
Yeah. I like it.
Write that down. I like that.